Let's go for it. I hope it ends up that way.
All right, let's talk SEC games not involving Oklahoma. Coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Once again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jay, we've got some interesting games coming up this week in the SEC. We've already talked about Oklahoma's matchup against Temple. Maybe that's not as interesting as some of the other things that we're going to see this week. Let's start it off with a big non-conference showdown. The Wisconsin Badgers travel to Tuscaloosa to take on the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yeah, it's a revenge game from last year. So Luke Fickle, take the fighting Luke Fickles of Cheese Place, flying out here, going down to Tuscaloosa to battle against Alabama. Now, Alabama's coming, they won their last game, convincingly, but still coming off that really bad game against Florida State. And Bama's right now, spread-wise, let's see, our friends at FanDuel have Alabama sitting at, should have had this pulled up a minute ago, 21.5-point favorites. So they're still sitting at about the same as Oklahoma, which is interesting that Oklahoma's a 21.5-point favorite against Temple, and they're a 21.5-point favorite against Wisconsin. I know that the computers still really like Alabama just because of their roster. If they get it all together, there'll be a challenge for any team that they face, but Ryan Williams will be back, so it's going to be intriguing. I'm thinking Bama goes out there and they put it to them, but not in a blowout fashion. I don't think they cover this spread, but I do think they win.
Yeah, I don't think they cover. I do think they win being at home. They found something last week, got some momentum in a big rout against an overmatched competition. Yeah, I like Alabama. What about in the game featuring Auburn and South Alabama?
What? We're going to talk about USA?
Why not, man?
Auburn?
Do you think Jackson Arnold's going to be able to keep the momentum going from last week's big passing day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. He will. He better. Like, there's no excuse. You're at home. Yeah. You're playing against South Alabama. There's no reason for you.
Ahead to Oklahoma. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, if they look ahead, though, that does smell like a trap, especially because it's at home. This is one where you typically would get laxed. I know a lot of people have been trying to say that our game against Temple could be considered a trap game. I don't feel like it because it's a road game and it's like really weird. So I don't see that. But yeah, this one could be one of those because you're at the crib. Just going, we should be all right. I don't know if South Alabama is going to pull off another upset if USA can do that like they did against Oklahoma State a couple years ago. Because Okie Light did get lost at home to Alabama, to South Alabama. It was a kind of a shocker. Like, wait, y'all lost? Yeah, wow, that's weird. But I don't think Auburn loses this game. So I don't know if they cover the spread, but I do know that they win this game.
All right, we're going to skip Mizzou and Louisiana Raging Cajuns. Nobody cares. Georgia at Tennessee in the 2:30 window. This is going to be a good ball game. I know Tennessee fans are feeling really optimistic about that, but Kirby Smart's had the Vols number.
Yeah, 8 straight, I believe. So 8 or 9 straight. It's literally the entire Kirby Smart era that they've won these games, and I don't think that this is going to change at all. I would like Tennessee to pull the upset. I do like what Joey Aguilar is doing there at Tennessee. It makes them more intriguing. It makes it even better for us when we play against them and we beat them. It'll be even more potent. Because they beat Georgia and we beat them. I'm kidding, but not at the same time. I'm not kidding, but I digress. It's going to be a fun one. The question to me is, what is Gunnar Stockton?
Yeah.
How do we feel about him? How do we feel about him running the offense? Felt like Carson Beck was a little bit more, I think he's a little bit more consistent at passing. I feel like Gunnar Stockton's got receivers that are actually catching the ball, though. So
Yeah. Stockton's kind of finding his legs still a little bit as a starter. I just trust Kirby Smart's defense a whole lot more than I trust Joey Aguilar to be able to go and consistently make plays against that defense. This is not East Tennessee State. This isn't Syracuse. Syracuse is a solid football program, but the step up that Aguilar is making to face the Georgia Bulldogs and Kirby Smart, I don't care that it's at home. it's still going to be a big, big test. And Kirby Smart has a way of getting quarterbacks very uncomfortable and making them look very average. I don't know if that's going to be the case this week, but I do think that Georgia does win this game. You want to talk UTEP, Texas?
Absolutely not.
Okay. My only question here, do we have Arch grimacing when he throws the ball once again?
Yes, he will. He will be pooping while he's throwing it, as Sarkisian would say.
Yeah. And shout out to Steve Sarkisian, just had a baby. That's kind of cool. But
word?
Yeah, I think they just shared pictures on social media about the baby. That's kind of fun. But I don't understand where he's going with the pooping thing. If Arch pooped his pants while he was trying to throw a football, then maybe it makes sense, but otherwise it doesn't make sense.
We're spending way too much time on him pooping his pants.
Yeah, my apologies, everybody. We're not going to talk Mississippi State, Alcorn State. Jeff Lebby and the Bulldogs are going to get another big win there. Big SEC matchup here between Arkansas and Ole Miss. Arkansas travels to Oxford for a 6 p.m. kick on ESPN. Man, it's gonna break our guy Steve Willis's heart to hear this, but I'm liking Arkansas in this game.
Hey, Taylor Green's out here leading one of the top quarterbacks in the country in touchdowns, and this game's gonna be a fun one. Now, last year they lost 63-31. Jackson Dart was just lighting them up. But I think their defense is a little bit better this year, and I think it's going to be a lot more fun. Taylor Green's out here passing and running all over the place. Give me the Fighting Razorbacks. I think Sam Pittman's going to save his job.
Yeah. Austin Simmons may become as good as Jackson Dart is. He's not quite as good as Jackson Dart is just yet. So give me Taylor Green. Give me the consistency that he provides. And I think they're going to pull an upset at some point this year. Why not this week? I think they are going to go and have the big upset against this Ole Miss team. Don't talk to me about how it's in Oxford and that's a home field advantage. Remember, the worst Oklahoma team since 1998 led the Ole Miss Rebels at halftime last year.
That's true.
All right, moving on to another big SEC showdown. Can the Florida Gators bounce back on the road in the Bayou against the number 3 LSU Tigers?
Man, that one's going to be interesting because I have this very weird feeling that Florida's going to show up. They didn't show up against South Florida. I know.
Shame on them.
Y'all have already put the nail in the coffin for Billy Napier, and you think that it's done. I kind of have a weird feeling that it's not. I have a really, really weird feeling that they're going to do the same thing they did to LSU last year. And they're going to go out there and possibly win this. I mean, last year, Lagway threw for 226 yards, and they won that game. It's at the Swamp.
Yeah.
Totally understand that. I mean, but they did go back-to-back. They beat LSU. They beat Ole Miss. They finish out strong in the season. You know, they go 8-5 on the year. I have a funny feeling that they're going to somehow upset LSU and win that game. It's going to be the weirdest thing. It's going to be one of those, why? I see it happening.
They're going to come out playing angry, but can they get out of their own way? Can they go and play a focused football game and not put themselves behind the 8 ball? I mean, Garrett Nussmeier is not going to miss out on opportunities. If you give him extra opportunities to throw the ball, he's going to beat you eventually. Caden Durham, he's one of the best running backs in college football that nobody, I feel like, is talking about enough. The dude is really, really good. And then we know that wide receiver core is really good. So I like LSU in this one. I think, again, it's going to be a night game in Baton Rouge. Always a difficult time for anybody that travels. I don't know exactly what the score is going to be here, but I do think that LSU wins this one by at least a touchdown. Another fun one we've got up in South Bend. Texas A&M takes on number 8 Notre Dame in a top 20 matchup, Jay. This one, to me, has a lot of fun written all over it.
Yeah, that one also went a little bit under the radar and really in conversations. I haven't heard as much chatter about this game as I thought I would, especially after last season.
Yeah,
A&M's got a really good chance of shutting the haters up. And the bad thing, though, for Notre Dame is they desperately need this win because if they don't win this game, they don't really have anybody on their schedule up until, USC in mid-October to try to help them in their quest to get back. Well, they play Arkansas in 2 weeks, so I guess if Arkansas wins, there's a chance that one could be something. So the schedule could turn out to be a lot better if Arkansas can help them out too, but they desperately need this win after that loss against Miami. But I think A&M wins this game again. I think this is going to be 2 years in a row. Well, I know they didn't lost. A&M lost last year, didn't they?
Yes, at home.
A&M did lose last year. My bad. Yeah, A&M did lose last year at the crib because the next week Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois or something like that. Yeah, it was it was pretty bad. So I think A&M gets avenged. They avenged that loss last year and win this one.
Yeah, I think the Aggies, they go up, they get a big win. Marcel Reed, I think this is going to be his coming out party. There's been a lot of discussion about, has he advanced enough as a quarterback, as a passer, to be able to help Texas A&M become a legit SEC title contender. We've seen so far through 2 weeks that he looks really good throwing the football. I think this is the week, though, that the national analysts start talking a lot more about Marcel Reed. Mike Elko's defense is really good. It's going to be a fun one up there. Again, that's a primetime kickoff, 6:30 on NBC and Peacock. And then, to me, an underrated game of the week candidate, Vanderbilt travels to Williams-Brice Stadium and takes on the number 11 South Carolina Gamecocks. This one could be spicy, Jay.
Hoo-wee. John.
I might smell it.
You smell upset?
There's a faint aroma. It's wafting.
But and it's very faint. You know why it's very faint? I just looked at the spread of this game. This spread is sitting at like 3.5. And this is an extremely low spread for a game that we think that should be a dominant win for South Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like 3.5 tells me that on a neutral site, this is possibly a pick'em.
It's a pick'em. That's crazy.
That is not what I expected when I saw the numbers on this one. Now, granted, if I'm correct, this game opened up at like 6 or 5.5 on some books. I did not expect this game to be this low. I'm taking Vanderbilt.
That's crazy. Yeah.
They do have a comparable opponent. They've played somebody the same team. And one came out with dominance in the second half, 300 and something plus yards. Yeah. Like dominated the second half, and the other one kind of squeaked by with a win. Like I said, I had questions about South Carolina. Some of the people from South Carolina laughed at me. I totally understood on the squad show, but it kind of showed themselves now, right? Like, am I now wrong? And didn't I say something about Vanderbilt? I could have sworn I did.
Don't doubt our guy Jay. Don't do that.
Just saying. I don't be just throwing BS out there, John. No. I really do be giving y'all some real stuff when I look these teams up, man. Give it to me. What you think? Don't you?
It's hard for me to pick against Shane Beamer and Lenore Sellers. They're at home. They've got one of the best defensive players in the country in Dylan Stewart. I just think this is Vanderbilt's game. This is the one where when Diego Pavia talked about contending for a championship during the summer and everybody thought he was crazy, this is going to be the game that everybody's like, okay, maybe he wasn't that crazy. Maybe it wasn't just him, spouting off at the mouth and trying to create some positive energy and buzz for Vanderbilt. He really believed that this team is going to be as good as he thinks that they're going to be. And so give me Vanderbilt, man. Pull off the upset. They've got the formula really to keep South Carolina's offense on the sideline and just frustrate that defense. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Vanderbilt, especially because that South Carolina defense is not as experienced as it was a year ago.
It isn't. That's the thing we got to remember. It ain't.
Yeah. All right, final one here because I just think this one's kind of fun. South Florida at Miami in a top 25 matchup. Alex Golesh, can he pull off another big upset? Will he own the state of Florida?
No.
Okay.
I'm not even going to pretend like that. I would like to say that would be that. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I do think Miami's a little bit more well coached than honestly Florida is. So I don't think that they can pull it off, but I do think that they cover the spread. 17.5 is kind of high.
I don't really care. It was just kind of a fun one to bring up because South Florida goes from a big upset over the Florida Gators to now they're in this top 25 matchup against the Miami Hurricanes in what could be a fun game. I mean, if they play another game similar to the way they played this past week, there's no telling what kind of a environment or an atmosphere or a game narrative could be created by Alex Golesh and the South Florida Bulls. Any other thoughts? Any other games you're going to be keeping your eye on this week?
I just need Oklahoma to do this thing with this Temple game. Just give me what we need.
Just do it. Just take care of business. Get out of Philly.
Actually, I will be keeping up on this Colorado-Houston game as the Big 12 is about to start conference play. I'm intrigued to see. They've got a quarterback controversy, and I'm fascinated by it now.
Yeah, little quarterback triangle controversy.
Yeah,
that's happening.
Real triangle, for real. It's kind of weird.
So, all right, that's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Sooners. Thanks so much for tuning in and being a part of the show. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, the notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. You also got to go check out the college football show on Fire TV. College football fans, Locked On and Fire TV present College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation alongside two-time AP Coach of the Year, Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holley, and Locked On's local experts. A college football preview only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Fire TV. Follow Jay at Unfair Sports. Go check out his channel, Unfair Sports, on YouTube. You can follow me at John9Williams and read my work covering the Sooners over at SoonersWire.com. The show is at Locked On Sooners on all of your favorite social media platforms. But until next time, when we go live after Oklahoma versus Temple, he's Jay Smith. I'm John Williams. We'll talk to you then. Boomer
Sooner.